Hello everybody to day 9 of my casting everyday challenge. So today I decided to go back into Hearthstone because I was actually in the mood to cast it and I really want to learn the new meta and get a lot better at casting Hearthstone. So I'm doing another solo cast today, going back to the Amazon coin qualifier as well. This time it's going to be Torlk versus Pavel. I believe it's more pronounced Torlk, like it's a weird Torlk. I'm not going to be able to do it, sadly, so I'm just going to say Torlk. I understand that it's probably wrong, and I'm sorry about that. And Pavel, the world champion from the BlizzCon finals in this past year. So this is going to be a very interesting game. I'm going to say right now that I'm pretty sure Pavel's going to win just because I haven't heard of Torlk, sadly. But looking at picks and bans, Torlk did ban the Warlock and the Warrior, leaving the Priest open. Priest is really strong right now, while Pavel did ban the Druid and the Priest, but leaving the Warrior open, which is really strong. I believe Warrior and Priest are two of the strongest decks right now. Priest is a good mid-range, just constantly flooding the board with minions, while Warrior is just constantly going face and dealing a lot of damage. And then just doing a quick assumption, I believe this is going to probably be a mid-range Shaman, maybe a mid-range Jade Shaman. The Warlock's definitely going to be Reno Lock. Warrior has to be some sort of Pirates. Paladin, I'm going to say it's most likely a Murloc Paladin, just because that's what I've been seeing a lot of in the high tier Legend ladder. And then Priest is going to be that Dragon Priest that is really strong right now. So we're going to get into the game right now. I want to see how it goes. And actually, I just remembered I no longer had the Hearthstone app up. So I'm gonna start my Hearthstone game just because I usually like to have the background music playing when I'm casting, so it's not just completely blank. So that's gonna be loading. You're gonna probably hear the innkeeper say something in a few seconds, so don't be surprised when that pops up. So in the meantime, let's go back to this game while that's loading. And looking at this, it actually looks like it is a hand buff Paladin, so it's not going to be that Murloc Paladin. My best guess is because when you do run Murloc Paladin, it's very obvious of what you're going to run. Now, running that is very interesting because he had to expect that it was going to die. It's pretty obvious that the patches is going to come through, so he's not looking to get the Divine Shield out. Maybe he was just hoping to clear patches, but he wasn't able to. So the Selfless Hero is going to go down, and I'm kind of surprised he didn't use the Mean Street Marshal, but I think he wants to kind of buff that first before playing it, just because he wants that card draw. Now, personally, I would have liked to see the Selfless Hero out instead, because then it would have kind of forced his opponent to at least trade with the patches. And now if he plays it, he doesn't have to. He's going to trade with just one minion, and possibly not even that, depending on what he has in his hand. We see that he has the South Sea deckhand, so he might just throw that into it, but it might be a waste of a charge. But perfect draw right there, actually, to go ahead and coin it out. The Bloodsail Cutlass is what it's called, and he's going to just buff up his little hook there. And I think it's a Rusty Hook is what it's called, and be able to easily put that out. Now, a small-time Recruits is going to be a very weak turn here by Pavel because he's not able to play anything, and he's basically now just going an opponent that's able to do whatever he wants with this board. He's going to okay, so it looks like he's going to put out that Bloodsail just to put as much buff as he can on it. He doesn't have any other weapons in his hand to make it any bigger, so it's actually not a bad idea to just play it now, put it on the board, and Pavel's just going to surrender right away. He realizes that there's no way that this Paladin is going to beat the Warrior, and that is an extremely fast game one. There's not really much else to say. That Paladin seemed like it was a very slow-paced deck, and it got paired up against a very fast-paced Warrior, so my best guess is just he realized that he had no shot at winning that, so he just went ahead and was like, well, you know what? I can't win. Might as well just go ahead and not prolong this any longer. So we're going to skip ahead now. It looks like it's going to be now, again, this hand buff Paladin against Torlk's Shaman. So we'll have to see if this is like an old school mid-range Shaman or if he threw in some Jade cards to change it up a little bit. Now, we do see the Tunnel Trog draw immediately. That's going to be a very easy choice there by Torlk of what he wants to play. Yeah, he's going to play, obviously, that Tunnel Trog, put it on the board. He has the lightning bolt to try to get to buff it up later on, but he really wants to try to draw that totem golem. That would be the best top deck he could do right now. So he's going to use the Grim Street Outfitter right now, and this is a pretty good hand right now in order to do that. He does have the Abusive Sergeant to clear the Tunnel Trog if he didn't clear that, which would have been a very, very poor choice there. And he's actually going to be able to start developing right now. So this is what he wanted to do last game, but just didn't get the right cards. He never got that Outfitter, so he wasn't able to buff his hand earlier. So now this is going to be an interesting choice here by Torlk. He's just going to... Oh, with the Spell Power. I actually didn't see that he had the Spell Power totem out there. It's a very easy clear by him just using that Maelstrom Portal. Now this is where it is going to get very interesting for Pavel. He is going to go ahead and play his other Abusive Sergeant. So the only other buffed card he has in his hand right now is that Doppelgangster. But that's 3/3/3s. That's technically a 5-mana 9/9. It's not too bad, actually, especially when it only costs him 5 mana. That's extremely good. Now, Torlk right here, just going to go ahead and develop the Manatide Tolem. Put that out there. Go ahead and get rid of that Abusive Sergeant. Start buffing up his Tunnel Trog, and then just keep applying the pressure. We do see right now that Pavel does not have a turn 4. He needs some kind of draw, and the Worgen Infiltrator is not really going to be the greatest answer that he could do right here. He is going to have to play it, though, just because he has no other turn except for just playing the Defender of Argus, which is just even worse. So he goes ahead, just plays that down, and this is just allowing Torlk to really have his say on how this matchup goes. He has all the momentum on his side. He's going to be able to develop 2 Totem Golems if he wants to, and he'll even be able to do a thing from below next turn. Now he's going to continually clear with that Tunnel Trog too, because there's no point of leaving really anything up. Granted, he is going to leave it susceptible to that Worgen Infiltrator, so all that developing is just going to go into clearing some of those 1/1s that came out of the Paladin's hero power. So, not the greatest use of the Tunnel Trog, in my opinion. I feel like he could have applied some of that into face damage. Now, this is a very interesting choice by Torlk right here. He is going to develop his Flame Tongue Totem, it seems, but it's going to be interesting of where he places it. He's actually going to place it so that it's going to be one of the Totem Golems, clearing out the... I actually don't know what that card is called, but the card that's basically the opposite of Emperor Thorson. That I'm going to say opposite. It does a similar thing, but it just keeps buffing your hand. So this is an amazing board presence now by Torlk. Pavel needs some really desperate things right now in order to clear the board, and he's just going to surrender again. Again, this Paladin is not working for Pavel. Granted, Torlk used 2 pretty fast-paced decks that seem to counter this Paladin, but already Pavel is 2-0. And he now has to beat this Reno Warlock 3 times in a row, where a Reno Warlock can just get amazing draws and win extremely fast that the Reno is not even needed. So we'll have to see how this Warlock is going to play out. I just don't think this is really working too well for Pavel at this point. The one thing that's lucky for Pavel right now... sorry, I skipped pretty far ahead. And actually, is this a discard Warlock? Okay. This is very, very interesting. Okay, so he's playing a very old school Warlock. He is not playing that Reno Warlock, so he is going to go for a very fast-paced deck, and we'll have to see if Pavel's actually able to do anything about it. This is actually one time I didn't look ahead, so I really don't know of how long this game lasts. I was prepared to cast for over an hour if need be, but because of how fast-paced this Warlock can be, and he's up against a very slow Paladin, this can be a very quick game. And Pavel might have just brought the wrong decks or banned the wrong decks. He banned the Druid that would have been very slow-paced with that Jade Druid. He also did ban the Priest, which is slower than the Warrior. So he came in, brought a very slow deck, and it's not working for him. And especially now he got 2 Doppelgangsters in his hand. That's really just bad draws by him right now. This is not the beginning of the game that he wants, because just with the cards he has in his hand right now, he doesn't have a good turn 4. Now, getting that Knife Juggler, he has a decent turn now. He's going to go ahead and try to clear off the 3-2 first, just so try to get the win the 33% here to clear out the Abusive Sergeant. We'll go face instead, but at least it wasn't the worst case scenario. If that would have ran into the Imp Gang boss, that could have just given Torlk another minion on the board to do whatever he wanted with. So Dark Peddler comes out, and we are going to see another Flame Imp might be a good idea by Torlk right here, and he is going to pick it up just to keep applying that pressure that he has. And he's going to allow Abusive Sergeant to buff up his other Abusive Sergeant to clear the board completely, get rid of that Knife Juggler, and then the Flame Imp just to have so much good presence on this board. Now, it's going to be interesting what Pavel could do, but he's just going to go ahead and double Gangster, and really that's all he can do right now. He's at least getting some sort of board right now, and Torlk is running out of cards. Now, he has 2 Silverware Golems in his hand and an Imp, so we'll have to see if he plays one of those Golems this turn or not, and we'll have to see if he decides to clear off some of these Doppelgangsters, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Yeah, I feel like clearing off the Doppelgangsters, keeping your Imp alive, and putting out a Silverware Golem is going to be the best choice right here, and it seems like that's exactly what he's going to do. Playing out an Imp right now is a little risky because if it gets out, there's a lot of your card draw that you're going to be losing. But we're going to see Pavel right now again develop this Doppelgangster without any buffs on it. So a little bit rough for him, but he at least was able to get some minions on the board to contest Torlk's minions. And this is where it gets interesting if he's going to play Selfless Hero or Agent Squire, and it looks like he's going to play the Squire instead. Really, I don't know if it mattered too much of which way he went in that. Now, Torlk right here going to have some interesting card draw with the Darkshire Librarian. It is going to be able to draw 2 cards with not only its Death Rattle, but also when the Maltasar's Imp comes out on the field, he will be able to get a card draw off that because he's going to be discarding his Silver Golem, but he actually won't be because it'll be going out on the board. He also gets the draw on the Imp Gang boss, so he has a decision right now of if he wants to go ahead and play that right now. I don't see why not. The only bad thing about it is that he... oh, wait, no, because he cleared off one of his minions, so he will be getting those imps out. And now the Divine Favor going to be absolutely worthless in Pavel's hand because I don't think Torlk's ever got... He's going to surrender it again! Pavel just goes ahead and gives up and doesn't want to continue this game. I feel like he surrendered a little too early there. I understand that the other 2 surrenders, but this was your last deck. Like, he had to win with this Warlock, and you have to play it out, in my opinion. You never know what happens. You don't know if you're going to lose or not, but Pavel there is just going to surrender and takes an easy 3-0, and he's out of the competition very quickly. You have other people such as Sidonia, who is in the World Finals as well, but Pavel, the champion of last year, out in the first round. And this is pretty interesting. I might come back to watch this Amazon coin qualifiers to see how far it goes, but that's it for today. Wow, I didn't expect to be done in 13 minutes, in all honesty. But yeah, so that's it for me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'm not sure if I'll cast Hearthstone again tomorrow. I might go ahead and cast some League or some Overwatch. Don't know yet, but whatever. Thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment and let me know what I can work on. That always helps me out. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.